everyone. Thank you for being a part of Salt Trail's Grief Altar-ation, an invitation to build an altar to love. My name is Megan Dwyer. I am a member of the Salt Trail's Philly Grief Collective, and I am here to guide you through the first prompt, which is a breath practice. We thought we'd begin with the breath because it is the breath that we begin our life with, and it also is the breath that marks the end of our life. It is the breath that also is, it marks the first loss, one of our first losses, which is the loss of our communion and connection with our mother in her womb. And it was Martin Prechtel who brought my attention to that. He was one of the first teachers when I started on my journey into the well of grief. So for this practice, you don't really need anything special but a space to lay down. If you don't want to lay down, you can totally do this practice by being seated or being in whatever position you would like to be in. I do have, I'm a yoga teacher, so I do have a yoga mat with me, but again, you don't need it. You could use a rug. And then I also have a blanket, so a folded blanket. So if you have a folded blanket, I recommend it just as a way to support your body. And any blanket can do. So I will be doing this breath practice via a yoga pose called Makrasana or Crocodile Pose. So I will show you how to get into Crocodile Pose and offer you a couple little tips, and then from there I will guide you in a breath practice. I'm not going to stay in Crocodile Pose while I guide you through the breath practice because the Crocodile Pose is face down and it would be hard for me to speak. So in order to come into Crocodile Pose, you can enter it by coming onto all fours. And again, if coming onto the ground is not available to you, you can follow this breath practice by being in a chair or seated in a chair. So if you have a blanket, you could put it at the very bottom of the space that you'll be lying down in, and the tops of your feet can rest on the blanket. And then you're going to come down onto your belly. And so you're going to bring opposite hand to opposite elbow. So it's like you're stacking your forearms. It would look like this if you were to look down. So if you can't see the angle that I'm in. And so you bring opposite hand to opposite elbow. The tops of the feet are resting on the blanket, which helps to support and release the low back if you have any tension in the low back. And then you can bring the forehead on to your forearms. So from here, you may decide whether you want the elbows closer towards your body or further away. Some people also choose to stack their hands instead of their forearms. So again, you're resting your forehead on your hands or your forearms. The feet could come a little bit wider than your hips. And you may choose whether you want to point the toes outward, straight back, or inward. If you feel any constriction in your chest, you could get a rolled up blanket and place it underneath of your collarbones. So you can stay as you are, but I'm going to sit up so that I can guide you through this. And so see if you can notice all of the parts of your body. Well, first of all, can you notice just how it feels to come into this position. If it doesn't feel good, you can always roll onto your back. So this pose, part of the reason I chose it, one, because it communicates a turning away from the world, a turning your back on the outside world so that you can turn inward, so that you can dip beneath the surface into those deeper waters. It said that the crocodile, right, most of its body is beneath the surface in the water, and you can just see a little bit of its body above the surface of the water. And so the journey with grief, right, involves going beneath the surface, right, going into deeper waters, and often shutting out the outside world for a bit. And so let this be the continuation of our journey together to our love. And can you feel, what the parts of your body that are touching the earth, your arms? Can you feel your chest? Can you feel your belly? Can you feel your pelvis and where it meets the earth? Can you feel your legs and where they meet the earth? So just remind yourself that you're being held, that you're being supported, and that Mother Earth is big enough and strong enough to hold all that you may be carrying. And you can notice how your breath may feel here without even doing anything to change it. Does it feel shallow or deep or choppy or smooth? Often when I come into this pose, it will allow me to take inventory of how my breath is. And sometimes I feel very short of breath when I come into this pose. And so you're just noticing. So the breath is that indication of also the other aspects of ourself. And so now we're going to start to lengthen the inhale and lengthen the exhale. You keep the mouth closed and you inhale and exhale through the nostrils. So as you inhale, could you actively press your belly button down into the earth, which allows the low back to rise. And then as you exhale, allow the low back to drop, and the belly button moves away from the earth. So as you inhale, could you expand the belly, actively pressing your belly button into the earth? And then as you exhale, your belly contracts and your low back moves back down towards the earth. So you might try that one more time with that active pressing of your belly button into the earth. As you exhale, is there anywhere that you could soften? The glutes, the inside of the pelvis. And this pose also teaches us how to breathe diaphragmatically, using the diaphragm, which is the muscle underneath of your lungs. So when you inhale, the lungs expand and the diaphragm moves down towards your pelvis and kind of squeezes the abdominal organs. And when you exhale, the lungs contract, the diaphragm moves away from the pelvis. As you inhale, it's like you're expanding from your belly and your low back, and then see if you can also expand into your upper back and your chest, that place around the heart, that place of your deep love. I'm gonna just to help you develop a rhythm to the breath, because we want the inhales and exhales to ideally be even in length, which helps the nervous system to regulate. And so we'll do a 3-count inhale and a 3-count exhale. And then we'll try a 3-count inhale and a 4-count exhale. So you're going to inhale for 1, 2, 3, exhale 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, exhale 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, exhale 3, 2, 1. So now we'll do a 3-count inhale and a 4-count exhale. When you extend the length of the exhale, you extend its qualities, which are that of letting go. The exhale detoxifies, it cleanses. The inhale nourishes and replenishes. So this is just that, the exhale helping you to let go of anything that your body may be holding on to in connection with your grief. So we're going to inhale for 1, 2, 3. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. So you may do a few more rounds on your own. You can make the breath longer or shorter, whatever would feel good to suit your body. Is there anywhere that can soften in the body? Also may imagine as you breathe that there was a cord that was connecting you to the mother. So just like there was a cord that connected you to your mother's within the womb, could you imagine a cord extending from your navel down into the center of the earth? And perhaps that with every inhale, you draw in and up the love from Mother Earth. asking her for whatever it is that you may need. And every exhale, could you send your love back to her? So you can stay here for as long as you'd like. Or you could start to bring your hands, underneath your shoulders and press up. And, I'll just recommend that you come and lie down in a bit of a fetal position, just to give yourself a transition and rest for a moment. And that memory that our body holds of being in that type of communion. And I'm going to end with these words by Martine Prechtel. So, all of us were born masters of that hopeful, life-giving sound of grief the day we rolled in. The sound that all humans somewhere know instinctually for grief. It is a newborn baby's grief wail that is the most profound form of praise for being alive. Everyone knows this. We should have all gotten only better at it and even more beautiful throughout our lives and throughout history. But culture would not condone it. It doesn't need to stay lost. Babies know what we all know inside. The grief for the loss of the rhythm of the mother who is the earth, and for whom we should all again find a voice and mind to elaborate that grief into praise. Thank you.